Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're ready to stop launching your PS5 controller across the room and actually transform into a proactive, unbreakable brick wall on the FC26 pitch, you are in the perfect place. Look, defending can feel incredibly tricky sometimes, but once you nail down the right structure, it honestly becomes second nature. So let me ask you, are you conceding way too many goals right now? If you're completely exhausted from mistimed slides, pulling your hair out over silly penalties, or just getting continuously bullied by those high-paced strikers, I get it. We are going to look closely at the mechanics that actually matter so you can finally stop leaking those easy goals. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so here's our defensive toolkit agenda. First, mastering the basics. Second, the tackling arsenal. Third, winning the physical battle. Fourth, controlling the AI. Fifth, emergencies and clearances. And finally, number 6, the golden rules. All right, moving right into section 1, mastering the basics, the true foundation of your defense. Believe it or not, mastering just one single controller input can totally transform your entire defensive game. The sprint jockey is your absolute foundation here. By holding down L2 and R2 together, your defender stays perfectly balanced. You're essentially matching the attacker's speed, right? This forces your opponent to make the first move, and hopefully a mistake, instead of you just diving blindly into a tackle. Okay, section 2, the tackling arsenal. Let's talk about actually engaging the attacker. Now, this is your primary tackling matrix, and it's all about solving specific opponent behaviors with precise inputs. Use your standard circle button for a standing tackle when you're up close and directly facing the ball. Now, if the opponent is shielding, you'll want to upgrade to R1 plus circle for a hard tackle. And if you're slightly out of reach but still have a clear aim at the ball, hit square for that classic slide tackle. But wait, here is the absolute most crucial point. Wait for the heavy touch. I know, it's so tempting to just mash the tackle button the second an attacker breathes in your direction, but patience really is your biggest weapon. Just wait for them to push the ball that tiny bit too far and then you step in. But hey, we're human, mistakes happen. If you slide and totally miss, do not panic. There's a 2-step quick get-up trick that so many players simply don't know about. The literal millisecond you miss that slide tackle, immediately press square. Your player will recover so much faster, getting you right back into the action instead of just taking a nap on the grass. Moving on to section 3, winning the physical battle and using your strength. You really need to notice the vital difference between just tapping versus holding the button for physical defending. A quick tap of the circle button when you're running side by side executes a shoulder challenge, letting you throw your body weight around. But if you hold circle, you perform a physical tackle. Your defender actively leans in to win possession, which is just an incredible counter when you're dealing with those super strong strikers. You can also apply physical pressure while you're actively chasing an attacker from behind, again, by pressing circle. But definitely use this one carefully. Excessive contact from this angle will absolutely result in the referee blowing the whistle. It's a really delicate balance between applying pressure and giving away a cheap penalty. Let's look at section 4, controlling the AI and tactical teamwork. You can actually dictate defensive pressure in 2 completely different ways. Holding R1 triggers a teammate contain, which sends an AI defender to pressure the ball, freeing you up to manually cover those dangerous passing lanes. Alternatively, a double tap of R1 activates a partial team press, automatically marking dangerous short passes. But remember, you still have to do the manual dirty work of blocking the most critical lanes yourself. And that leads us right into a massive warning regarding AI containment. You should never rely on it for too long, because it can pull your defenders completely out of position. If you just sit there holding R1 indefinitely, your defensive line gets dragged out of shape, leaving massive, glaring gaps for a smart attacker to exploit. Right, on to section 5, emergencies and clearances. It is officially time to hit the panic button. You absolutely need to know when to just survive an attack versus when to confidently start a counterattack. Pressing square gives you a standard clearance. No risks taken, you're just blasting the ball far away from danger. But hitting R1 plus square executes a technical clearance. This is much more controlled and actually directed toward a teammate, which is perfect for maintaining possession even when you're under serious heat. Sometimes, however, an attack breaks right through, and a clearance simply isn't an option. Sometimes, stopping a highly dangerous counterattack is honestly more important than allowing an easy, uncontested goal. That makes R1 plus circle your ultimate emergency break, the professional foul. Now, the consequence here is severe. You should absolutely expect a yellow card or even a straight red if you happen to be the last defender. You must only use this high-stakes input in absolute emergencies, when literally every other option has completely failed. On a similar note, the strongest sliding challenge available comes from hitting R1 plus square for a hard slide. But beware, it comes with immense risk. Mistiming this massive challenge leaves your defender completely out of the play and flat on the floor. Only pull this out when you are absolutely 100% confident you're going to win the ball. Finally, Section 6, the golden rules, and some bonus defensive tips to wrap this all up. To tie this whole system together, you need to memorize these golden rules. Stop sprinting constantly and rely on your sprint jockey. Anticipate the play by switching players early. Treat the slide tackle as an absolute last resort. And most importantly, control your CDM, your central defensive midfielder, whenever possible, to ensure your main center back structure never breaks down. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Which defensive technique will you master first to become an absolute brick wall? The next time you face a 99-pace striker bearing down on your penalty box, are you going to panic or are you going to rely on this new toolkit? Focus on just one element at a time, implement these inputs, and go